Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Vault, the show where airplanes fly on by my apartment. Go away.
Bye. You know, if we really want, we could just record this out on the terrace.
On the porch.
Really get that
Let's
feel.
just go to an airplane hangar and just record in there. I'm going to do another one, but I'll see if this is funny enough to keep in later. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Into the Vault, the show where we reach back into the Disney vault, pull out a movie, and find out if it was a hidden treasure or if it was locked away for our own good. I'm your host, Garrison MacCraw, and today I'm joined once again by Joshua Wainwright.
Once again.
Mistake
or... That's it. That's the only option.
Once again. One word. One syllable. Once again. Probably shouldn't clap near the microphone. Hello, welcome back. I'm glad that you enjoyed the Haunted Mansion so much.
Yes, I didn't realize when I came that we weren't going to watch the Haunted Mansion again, so I'm a little disappointed. I thought we were just going to watch it again, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We were watching not the Haunted Mansion.
We're watching the scarier movie.
Yeah. The Cat from Outer Space. Oof. The 1978 film that I've never seen. I think I owned the DVD as a kid, but I've never seen it. I'm guessing it's about a cat from outer space.
Very educated.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, do you have any experience, background with this movie?
I've seen a cat before.
Okay. What about outer space?
I don't know what that is.
Have you ever been there?
No? Where?
I don't know. So I don't have any particular stories pertaining to this, but I do have...
Anybody... let's sit down with someone and be like, was your favorite movie growing up The Cat from Outer Space? And people will be like, the what from where?
There'll be that one guy who's like, my time has come.
He's like, here I am.
My favorite Disney movie. I have all the DVDs and posters. I have a tattoo of the cat.
With a little UFO above it.
Yes. Yeah, I've placed the poster for the movie The Cat from Outer Space in front of you. Let's at least explain what we see going on here.
There's a cat.
Yep.
Good.
There's a spaceship.
I'm glad we've covered that.
There's a spaceship. They're really not giving away too much with this poster. There's a spaceship and a cat, and the movie's called Cat from Outer Space. They're really...
That's about it. The spaceship kind of looks like one of those things that like holds an egg. You know? Like a
carton?
No, like an egg cup.
Yeah.
You know, like one of a carton. Yep, it's just a floating, glowing green egg carton.
I do have a story parallel to this. When I was younger, I did know about the movie. And I would often go to Disney World and ride the Great Movie Ride. And in the pre-show for the Great Movie Ride, they had one for Alien. But in the trailer they showed for Alien, they would always show cuts of the cat. Mm-hmm. And so I always thought the alien was the cat. And I didn't realize that movie was not the Cat from Outer Space.
Yeah. Well,
I thought it was one and the same.
Weaver shows up in this one, it'll be a good day for me.
That'd be great.
But
Cat from Outer Space is the secret.
Imagine if this is a prequel.
The secret, like Prometheus, Covenant, doesn't get that out of the way.
Yeah, this tells you where the cat comes from. Who's obviously the most important character in the Alien franchise.
I've always just wondered where the cat comes from.
Well, now you know.
I get it. The rest of them, they're all miners or whatever they do. I haven't seen Alien in a while. Yeah. Maybe this should have been the scene in the Great Movie Ride instead.
Instead of Sigourney Weaver, it's a giant
cat.
I like the cat's glowing green collar. That was definitely just a regular collar that they just covered green in photo.
You ever realized how many times cats are used in sci-fi? Like in Men in Black, Orion's belt was around
I've never
the
seen
cat.
Men in Black.
Oh, I just ruined the entire first Men in Black for you.
That's okay, because if I haven't seen it now, what am I waiting for?
Yeah, let's watch Men in Black.
Oh, instead of this? Or both simultaneously?
This is actually a prequel to Men in Black.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And Men in Black's
which one is it a prequel to?
And a prequel to Alien.
Oh, okay. It's the same cinematic universe.
Yeah.
The outer space cinematic universe.
The Cat from Outer Space, Men in Black, and Alien are all connected. And I guess that means Predator's connected as well.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is complicated.
Then, I guess if it's outer space, it connects to Star Wars. What else? Star Trek.
Just anything with space in it.
Anything with space. Mars Needs Moms is in there somewhere, too. Chicken Little, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, Chicken Little also has outer space referenced in it.
Oh, my God. It's just a conspiracy. I had no idea.
You know what? let's watch this movie and find out how this cat ends up in Sigourney Weaver's hands, or whatever it's about.
Or whatever.
We're back. We're done. We watched it. And we finished watching it.
Listen.
And now it's over.
Thank God.
We started this episode, I'm pretty sure, 20 years ago.
Listen.
I've grown a full beard.
When I think of the movie entitled The Cat from Outer Space, I think of maybe something quirky and fun and, like zany. But instead, that is not what it was in any sense of any definition of any of those words.
Let's start breaking this down.
I don't want to.
We have to. We went through 2 hours.
First off, it literally just starts.
Yeah.
It just starts.
Movies like ease you in, like maybe some opening credits or like some
it just starts
overture.
on a farm, and then there's a flash of light, and then there's a spaceship that looks like the little bug thing from Spy Kids.
Yes.
I don't remember what his name is, but like that's there.
And
then
then
they
this
call
farmer,
the military?
Yeah, so this farmer goes out. It's like, don't worry, I'll check it out. Because there was a 60-year-old farmer who gets a shotgun like every farmer in a movie where an alien lands in their backyard. How come aliens are always landing on farmland? And also, how come farmers are always 60? Where's all the 20-year-old farmers in movies?
Where
did they all go?
And they said, we got to get out of here before something lands on our property.
Yeah, it's only the old ones set in their ways. It's like, I'll deal with it if something lands on my
I
property.
have my shotgun.
Yeah. So he goes and checks it out. And we, the audience, only see a cat, like, run away from it. So this guy's like, oh, what's going on here? And then military vehicles just start showing up. I don't know if we're supposed to infer that this guy called the military. Farmers have direct connections to the military. Or if the military...
He has one of those... Every farm has one of those little red phones that you pick up. It just connects you to the military.
And the military's
because they know. They know if aliens ever land, it's going to be on a farm somewhere.
So every farm is equipped.
Exactly. That's what the census is for.
The census is like, all right, do you live on a farm? Great. Send in the red phones. Red phone, guys.
So then... what even happened
we
after
cut
that?
to a military meeting of all of them, like, we need to figure out what this thing is. Is it
like this weird floating, like, rainbow thing?
Oh, yeah. They pull out, like, its power core or something and have it floating. They're like, we need to figure out what this thing is. It's floating and nothing's holding it up. Do we have any things that it might be? And someone's like, I don't know, maybe it's... Well, I don't want maybes. I want definites.
And then they bring in the quirky professor who says, naturally, maybe it's mayonnaise. And then his second suggestion is... Oh, it must run on the electromagnetic waves that the universe puts out, because that is very much easily confused with mayonnaise.
Yeah, this guy has this running joke, and by running joke I mean he does it twice, where he'll just say, I don't know, maybe it's mayonnaise, like out of nowhere.
Is that like paid by Hellmann's? They're like, yo, say the word mayonnaise and we'll give you some fun for the movie.
We'll give you an extra $10.
That was actually the entire budget was $15.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
And so we have our main guy, Frank, mayonnaise guy, who's like suggesting...
Good old mayonnaise Frank.
Mayonnaise Frank. And then outside the meeting, we have this guy who's trying to spy in on the meeting and gets a phone call from this unknown source that says, we need you to spy on them, figure out what's going on, figure out why they're all meeting.
What was his name? Olympus?
Olympus. Yeah, that's the big criminal.
And then he was Squid or something like that.
Yeah. And so...
Jellyfish. He was Jellyfish was his code name, which is very classy, very cool.
Oh, that's good. So Frank goes home, or where does he meet the cat? I don't remember.
He meets the cat in his laboratory where he has the mouse enslaved to make coffee.
Oh, yeah. He has his little mouse and has this Rube Goldberg chitty chitty bang bang like contraption that like makes him coffee, and then the cat sneaks in and he's like, "Oh, you're a cat."
And the cat says, "Yes, I am a cat."
And he's like,
and he just naturally kind of goes along with it. He's like, "Oh, that checks out."
He doesn't even freak out much. He's like, "Oh," and the cat's like, "No, I'm from outer space." He's like, "Okay, yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool."
Got it. Outer space.
It's like, "Are you sure you're not gonna freak?" He's like, yeah, cat from outer space. That's the name of the movie.
Yep,
I'm well aware.
He looked at a script for a second. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, no."
I heard the red phone call. I
tapped the red phone.
Yeah, I'm well aware. And the cat's basically like, "Listen, I need to get back to my spaceship. So can you help me sneak in there?" Frank's like, "Sneak on to a top secret like military installation and get you to your spaceship?" Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. He's like, "I'll do it for some mayonnaise."
Yeah, I'll do it for some mayonnaise.
But then I mean, I guess this is just a sign of the times, but this, like, super top secret military base has a chain link fence.
Yeah, it's a
and
chain
that's it. It literally has a gate that is just wrapped up with some chains.
Now, this cat has some powers. He's from a planet where they've, like, instead of evolving into humans, they stopped at cats, was the explanation?
Yeah, and they, like,
Which
use...
humans never evolved into cat. Never mind, that doesn't matter.
Listen.
And then the cats use these collars that give them telekinetic powers.
They, like, tap into their brain power so then they can talk.
And read minds and move objects or whatever.
Yeah.
Which,
okay,
again, fine.
Whatever.
So
if we're really going to pick it apart, let's just not. So we'll just go with it.
They sneak into this top secret government installation by unlocking the chain link fence
with the cat's mind.
The cat's mind just unlocks it. It's not even like a thumbprint. It's just like a lock.
A literal padlock.
You could probably come in with like some like a
hairpin.
Yeah, just click it.
All done.
All right,
here we are. What was it called? Hopscotch.
Yeah. And this guy, who's again a regular like scientist guy, not a spy, no espionage experience, just kind of waltzes and sneaks his way behind barrels.
Follows them. Yeah.
Into where the spaceship is.
And let's point out, every time you see him, there's just like that stereotypical like I'm being sneaky music playing.
Yeah.
But then immediately stops when the camera's not on him.
Yes.
Because...
whatever.
I don't even know.
And they get to the ship, and they get in, and they're like, oh, I know... The cat's like, I know what's missing. My Org-12. Do you guys have Org-12 on this planet? And he's like, I don't know what Org-12 is. Is that mayonnaise?
Sure is.
And the cat's
Can we
like...
call mayonnaise Org-12 from now on? Yeah. Or Org-5, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's Org-5. And the cat's like, well, I don't know what you call it here, but I know the atomic weight is... like, and he lists it, and the guy's like, oh yeah, gold. We all know what gold is.
We know... You didn't learn your atomic weight periodic table when you were young.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Watching it, I was like, how could he have guessed that right away? And Josh was like, oh, gold?
Everyone knows.
We all know gold's atomic weight.
Everyone knows the atomic weight of everything.
Except me. I forgot all the atomic weights.
Yeah.
I would have been no help to this cat. So they're like, got it. Gold. And then they have to escape from this military installation.
Which he does very easily by just freezing people. Like freeze-framing people.
The cat can freeze people, which is a power... that probably could be used way more in the movie.
And he literally says, he's like, without the collar, I'm just a regular cat. Then he loses the collar in the chase, and he immediately gets it back maybe 5 minutes later. So it's like, wow, you just set up a storyline to where, oh, we got to get his collar back so he's not just a regular cat. He just, bam, has it again.
It's like, oh, no, no, it's fine. Everything.
The amount of times that they like set up a possible storyline in here just to not use it blows my mind.
It's the whole movie. The whole movie is
astounding to me.
The whole movie is, oh man, it's gonna be a real problem if I can't get to my spit. Oh, we got it.
The cat like sneezes, and they're like, oh, good.
All right,
moving on.
All right, we're done. So they're like, well, the amount of gold we need is worth about $120,000 worth, and the cat's just like, okay, let's just get it.
He's like, cool, done.
Now again, you have a cat that can fly and telekinesis and all that.
Teleport.
He can fly and do telekinesis and all that. And Frank's like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get you gold. You cat with so many powers. I don't know how to get money.
And then his neighbor just like
barges in.
Oh my god. He kept barging into this man's house, and he was eating all of his food. He was drinking all of his beer. He's like, oh, by the way, you're out of beer. He was spilling stuff. Oh, I would have been so mad. And he was like, get out of my house. And the guy's like, I'm just trying to watch the game. And he's like, no, get out of my house. And he's like, but the game. He was so annoying.
I guess in the late 70s, it was okay to sneak in, to barge into your neighbor's house if you had a football game on.
He's like, but I placed a bet. And he's like, I don't care.
And then, for no reason, watching this game, the cat decides to use his powers to just make one of the horses who is losing win the race. So this neighbor won his bet, and Frank's like, that's how we'll do it. We'll use your magic powers to cheat at gambling.
And then I honestly think I missed something, because I know they were doing like a triple parlay, and they were gonna like have the cat cheat and like win all the games. And then he got distracted by the girl cat, which was there for some reason.
Because the this other girl, Liz,
quirky,
a scientist.
Yeah.
This female scientist showed up with her cat, and they kept trying to get her up and saying, "Oh no, he's sick." And she's like, "Oh, well, the vet lives nearby."
The vet, yeah.
And the vet comes up and like puts like a what do you call them? A thing where it makes people fall asleep.
Oh, is that what he did?
I think
I missed that. All of a sudden, the cat was asleep, and then they lost one of the games.
Because the cat was asleep and they couldn't cheat. You know,
I think I sneezed, and in the split second my eyes were closed. I missed a big plot point. I feel like that would fit with the movie.
I think sometimes I was watching this movie and just completely zoning out, and then coming back in, I'm like, oh yeah, the movie's still on.
You're like, oh yeah, it's still playing.
I'm still doing this.
Because then they had to go, and they went to go talk to the guy that they placed the bet with.
Yeah.
And they were like, but we want our money back.
Side note, this is the second movie I've reviewed on this show where they use like extraordinary powers to cheat at gambling, which is very weird for a Disney movie. I feel to have that be multiple plot points.
Listen, it was the 70s. Neighbors can barge in, you can cheat, it's fine. As long as you're making money either way. That's the real... That explains a lot.
Yeah, that was the Disney in the 70s.
Disney way. But then they have to go talk to the guy who's trying to... they place the bet with...
And they're gonna try and like win money another way. And so they go in and try to
a game of pool.
Yeah,
but I didn't understand the bet he was playing. I don't know what he was saying. He just kept saying numbers.
It's like if we keep doing this for this many, and then
then
you'd say that's worth
like something. Yeah, and then the girl goes to break, which somehow the cue ball goes zinging around, and the guy he hit it with the tray. And the other guy hit it with something else, and there were construction guys walking up and bounce off their helmet. Yeah.
Is this what the cat's trying to... No, that was all supposed to be like what really happened on purpose.
And then she didn't make any in, so they lost the bet.
Again.
And they were like, we're going to make another bet. Do it again. Because the cat was asleep the whole time.
But then a guy waved his sandwich next to the cat, and the cat woke up from the smell?
Up from the smell of the onions. Because earlier he was like, you got to make my sandwich with onions. And then he kept talking about how his sandwich didn't have onions on it, why the sandwich is the big plot point.
The sandwich
the world
saved...
will never know. The sandwich saved the day. That's the true hero, was the onion sandwich.
The sandwich.
But then the cat wakes up, and they do the bet again.
And they cheat.
They cheat because the guy who's supposed to be really good at pool goes to break, and the cue ball... He breaks, and all the balls go back together, and the cue ball goes right back to where it began. But no one questioned it. They all just kind of went, huh?
They're like, oh man, all the balls broke, and then randomly ended up back at their starting position.
And they said, that
isn't life wacky?
Yeah. And then the girl goes blindfolded, and she hit it, and naturally, all the balls went to the pockets. Every single one of them.
I just want to pause again and talk about how this is not what a Cat from Outer Space movie should be.
Why are they betting on pool? Why is that the biggest part of the movie?
Why is half the movie just bets and losing them?
Yeah, there's a cat from outer space. Cool, you have two great things there. And they said, but instead we're going to have them lose a bet and try to make it up. Oh, God.
This movie is like if E.T. was boring.
Oh, yeah, because there was that part where he was on the motorcycle.
And they make the motorcycle fly.
The cat made the motorcycle fly over, and I was like, this is the E.T. adventure. Hello, I'm Steven Spielberg. Let's get going.
Yes. So after the pool thing, they win, and they buy gold, and then the military...
giant chunk that he then shrinks down into the size of a pencil, because on his planet, they don't weigh things in mass, they weigh things in the amount, which that logic...
And every time they try to explain it, the cat's like, there's no time to explain how it works.
You can explain it later. And I was like, no, your audience is lost and they need to be explained now. Because I feel like mass and amount are very similar.
I imagine it works in the way it does in the Ant-Man universe, where the Pym particles shrink things down, so it's just making the molecules closer together. But at least in Ant-Man, they try to explain it.
Yeah. And I guess they didn't have the budget for this to
also,
shrink people
speaking
down.
of the MCU, Captain Marvel's another space movie with a cat in it. It's a flirt in, actually. Yeah. That doesn't matter.
But he looks like a cat.
He looks like a cat.
Yeah, Alien.
Yep.
Men in Black. Captain Marvel.
Yep.
That's the cinematic universe. It's the cats in space.
The MCU, but C stands for cat.
Yeah. Correct.
The movie Cat universe. So
Ew, does the movie Cats take place in the cat universe?
no.
Moving on. Yes.
Oh, so anyway, they have all the gold that they need or whatever. But then the
entire military just shows up.
The military shows up, and then they're like, "What are we gonna do?" The cat just freezes them.
All of them.
All of them.
Like 20 people.
And so it's not a problem. But then this spy and Olympus kidnap the girl and the girl's cat, I guess.
Olympus
and take him
being
in
a cranky old man whomst we have never seen before this point.
Oh yeah,
we are in Act 3 of the movie.
Introduce the main villain like right at the end.
Ugh, there's this gross old man. And so then they're on the base, and they're like gonna send the cat. They got the spaceship all fixed. He's ready to go, and he's like, Frank is like, "Go on without me. I have to go save whatever her name was, Liz." And the cat's like, "Okay." So the spaceship takes off, but then the cat stayed behind. So basically, they sent $120,000 worth of gold
just into
space by itself, and the cat's like, "It's fine."
You know what they probably could have done? Probably could have just, if the cat wasn't going to go to space, taken the gold out of the spaceship and then traded that gold brick for
the cat's freedom.
For the girl. They could have just been like,
that's true. Yeah. They could have been like, "Here you go."
They wouldn't have had to do this entire chase scene at the end. They could have just
Don't get me started.
Okay. So
I have never
seen
a chase scene.
Yeah, let's get there. So they go to like meet Olympus to get Liz back with the ransom or whatever. And I don't know what their plan is.
The cat.
Oh yeah, they're gonna trade the cat.
From outer space was the ransom. So they're trading the cat for the girl who also has her cat.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem like an even trade, but that's okay.
Also, wasn't there another caller earlier, like a spare one that the cat mentioned?
Yeah.
Did they forget about that? The movie just forgot.
Did they send it up into space?
The movie just forgot they had a spare collar.
A spare collar that could have fixed all of these
all the problems.
But then they like take off in a helicopter because the police show up.
Yep.
So then the cat goes over to this rickety old like crop duster that's literally covered in spider webs.
And they're like, "All right, we got it." So Frank, our main guy, and the cat get in. The cat uses powers to fly the plane, and the plane and helicopters kind of chase after each other for like 10 minutes.
No,
but they don't have any
10 minutes. It was more like an hour. It went on forever.
But neither of them had a plan. It's like, well, we can't really. Like you're just flying planes at each other. You can't crash them into each other. You both die.
They're like having tea up in the air.
There was no plan. They were just chasing each other around. It's like we'll get them. It's like, what do we do when we catch up to them? We'll worry about that later. No, worry about that now.
But then the throw came in because they almost hit a giant bridge that was just sitting there and had open air above and below it, and they were like, "What are we gonna do?" And then they went over it.
One went over. One like the plane went over under. The helicopter went over. But there was a time where they were all like so worried about how they're going to circumnavigate this stationary bridge with more than enough space above and below to just do whatever you want.
Because you know what's above? The entire sky.
And you know what's below the bridge? Just 200 feet of emptiness.
And then the guy in the tweed suit who is the spy fired a flare in the helicopter, which somehow knocked out the controls, so they all just bail.
Yes,
but the girl and the guy didn't have a parachute, so the guy holds on to Olympus and they fall out, and then the girl just literally starts bumbling around.
Yeah.
She was like,
what do I do?
Here, let me do an impression of her. Literally just wailing with her cat. And what did she say? She goes, "Oh, that's just swell."
Oh, that's just swell.
You were in a helicopter
that's going to
that
crash.
You would think, it's just going to plummet into the ground, and the only thing you can say is, "Well, that's just
swell."
swell.
Another hour later, they get her out of the helicopter by flying close to it and getting her out. You know, exciting. What an exciting movie. And then they land.
But then the cat almost kills them because he starts flying away because they rescue the lady's cat, and he gets distracted by the lady female, cat. And he's like, "Oh, a lady cat." And then they're literally dangling from the side of the helicopter because Space Cat is obsessed with little fluffy white cat.
Also, in the context of this universe, the cat has extraordinary human-like intelligence, and this cat that he's interested in has the intelligence of a regular cat. That'd be like one of us going to another planet where human-like creatures are essentially pets and dumb and have no real thought process, and like getting a crush on one and like hitting on one even though it can't understand us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not right. It's not right. Right? Am I wrong?
No, listen.
Do we not think about this too much?
The budget for the movie was roughly $15. And so they said, you know what a cat would really dig? Another cat. But we don't have the time to explain it because we have to do the pool scene. So we're moving on.
So Frank's friend was on the ground when the military and police showed up and explained to them. It's like, he's like, you wouldn't understand me if I told you. But then it cuts back to him later, and the military's all like, oh, we get it. The cat's from outer space. And they call the president. President's like, oh, just give him a full pardon. Give everyone a full pardon. And we'll make him a citizen of these United States.
I feel like all I needed to do was he looks the military directly in the eyes and says, Space Cat. And then they pick up the phone, call the president, and they're like, yo.
Space Cat.
Space Cat.
And the president
like,
goes,
Space Cat. And then the movie literally just cuts to the scene in
a courtroom
where Danny DeVito lookalike is the judge, and he's swearing in this cat
to be a citizen of the United States.
But he's just doing like the Pledge of Allegiance, and then the cat like levitates the judge, so he's literally just like floating.
But the judge is still reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, he's like not even bothered by the fact that he's floating up in the air. The cat's
and then
like
the movie ends.
Yeah, and then
it says the end.
The end, and then it just ends. That's it.
I don't know if this is the worst movie I've watched for the podcast, because Return to Oz was horrendous. This is definitely the most non-thought-out and dullest movie, where you have a whole concept of a cat from outer space, and your idea is a boring plane helicopter chase, which I don't know how you can make a plane helicopter chase boring, and gambling bets.
I don't see how you have an air chase between a helicopter and a like crop duster, and you say you're gonna fall asleep during this.
Yeah.
How do you like?
It's so all right. I don't have any trivia for this movie because I tried looking some up, and basically
Everyone hated the movie so much.
I didn't have any in my brain already. I don't know of any references to the parks. There might be one. I don't know. But on IMDb, it's basically just like, did you know that this character plays a doctor in MASH and this character plays an army sergeant in MASH? But in this movie, the army sergeant's the doctor and the doctor's the army sergeant?
Hard hitter. I actually have trivia about it.
Oh, yeah.
The movie is about a cat. And there's actually multiple references to cats in the Disney parks.
Yeah. Sometimes you can just see a cat.
Yeah, there's a cat on Haunted Mansion. There's a cat over on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, there is.
There's cats other places as well, and every single one of those...
There's like feral cats outside the park.
Yeah, every single one of those was hand-picked and hand-placed by Walt Disney himself because he said, this is
a reference to my favorite movie, The Cat from Outer Space, a movie that comes out after I die.
Yes, he definitely was not around when it came out, but he knew it was going to be a big hitter because he said it's two things people love, cats and gambling. And outer space, but that's not it. Anyway, I don't know.
This movie, it didn't even need to be a cat. There was no reason for it to be a cat.
That was the thing that really got me.
There was
a solid 15 to 20 minutes at the beginning. You didn't even like see the cat.
You could have just had it be a movie about a guy who's really good at predicting things, and it would have had the exact same plot. Like someone's really good at predicting like gambling, and then like a high-end criminal steals him. Oh wait, that's the literal plot of The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
It's the same movie.
It's The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes mixed with E.T., but make it boring.
The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes and also had a cat. That's it. At least the cat was cute. That's the good thing.
Yeah, that is
good. It was a good choice for a cat.
Good cat.
Also, one thing that I want to touch on, which I don't think we did, was his name was like Z-bop, zibbity-boop, bop-bop, gibbity-bop-bop. But they called him Jake.
Yep.
Because you know what translates? That does. It's a solid.
How would we make a ride for this? Or an attraction or a restaurant?
I've been thinking about it a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually had two options. One is a Peter Pan's Flight-esque, where you get in the helicopter, but it literally is just like one big circle, and you just like fly. The music swells and you go under the bridge, and then you just pull right back in and get off. You don't even see the cat.
There's like the walls are screens, but every once in a while you see a helicopter like flying next to you.
Yeah.
And it goes over
and you're
the
like,
bridge.
Whoa.
You're like, oh man. Wow.
Yeah, maybe the plane flies up and like you see the cat, but it's the dummy cat. It's like the plush cat.
Yeah.
The other option would be like your traditional dark ride, and that's it. Like you go through and like
there's like characters gambling.
Yeah, the cat like levitates your
what
vehicle.
What park would we put this in?
None of them.
Epcot, because the future world.
Typhoon Lagoon. It's a
Typhoon Lagoon.
It's a flume ride.
It's a flume ride if you're going
because if you looked in the helicopter scene, there was a waterfall in one of the mountains, background. And you go down that. No, honestly, I don't think anyone deserves to have to watch, much less live through this movie.
Okay, there's got to be something. Actually, I think we should open the casino, like have like a casino, like the Cat from Outer Space casino, where like you could play pool. But it's like on more like a digital table instead of like real balls. It's like digital like screens. So then when you do it, like you can have a move, like a power up where you say use the cat, and you can like affect the other teams like the way the balls are moving. But you only get a couple power ups before you run out of cat powers.
Use the cat, Luke.
Use the cat, Luke.
The cat connects all of us. Every living being.
It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds the galaxy together.
I hate this. So you're picturing like Jake's Cantina, if you will.
But it's just
it's an overlay in Galaxy's Edge.
I actually had an idea where maybe it's Hondo and like the Smuggler's Run, but instead of flying the Falcon, you're flying the Crop Duster.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And
you have to avoid bridges the whole time.
You have to avoid bridges.
Bridge after bridge. It's like the Aladdin like virtual thing they had at Disney Quest, where you just have to go up and down and just avoid bridges the whole time, and you have to decide if you go above or below.
Yeah.
For about 15 minutes.
Like either one's correct.
Yes, but it's like the ride is so long that you're just sick and tired of it, much like the movie. So you're on it and you're like, oh, this isn't bad. Oh, this is pretty boring. I want to get off now, but it just keeps going.
It keeps going. It's a 20-minute ride of just up, down, up, down, down.
Now get ready for this. Down.
I think both our attractions could be connected in like a themed land.
Yeah.
With roaming characters.
I feel like the pre-show is just the lady scientist making her weird noises. She's not even speaking English. She's just going,
this is swell.
Yeah, kind of like the teacher from Charlie Brown. She's just like, and you're like, it's a cat ride.
Oh, man. So...
Don't even ask me.
What is this? Are we putting it in the vault? Is it a hidden treasure?
I want to personally email Disney and say, this is on Disney Plus and it needs to not be. Thank you.
They'll be like, but we had one viewer on it. Just more than
correct.
We had.
It was us, and we want to tell you no.
They're looking at the stats right now and see a view, and they're like, honestly,
I really hope
more than we thought.
I hope this just shows up on your recommended page constantly. Every time you open Disney Plus, it just says
Cat from Outer Space.
Watch again, and it's just that, and it takes up the whole screen, and the only option is to play it. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. That's bad.
All right. You know what? I'm going to make a new segment for the show right now.
Oh,
a brand new segment. How would we, given the title, The Cat from Outer Space, let's create a movie that's actually enjoyable.
Okay, so what we're going to do,
the title alone.
Yes, we're going to take the script from this and burn it.
Burn it, yes.
We're going to start from scratch.
Okay.
I think it could open very much the same. The cat comes down and you don't know what's happening. Get the military out of here.
I want the same rules in the universe. So the cat has the telekinesis and the collar. So it's the same rules, but we have to get around everything in a very different way.
Okay.
I think we introduced the criminal Olympus at the beginning.
Very, very much sooner, please.
Yeah. And maybe he's not like a random industrial espionage criminal. He's just like a...
Is that what this guy was? We had no backstory whatsoever.
That's what it said on Wikipedia when I just looked it up.
Perfect. I just know he was old and creepy.
Yeah.
Like villains tend to be.
I think he should be like some kind of like conspiracy theorist, like criminal, like he like believes in aliens.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Frank, the guy who found the cat, who is into all like the nonsense...
Like he's a scientist.
What if he was the bad guy? Because he saw the cat and he was like, oh, what if he met the cat? Just like he did in this movie. And he's like, a cat. So he's helping the cat. But then he realizes the cat's going to leave. And then he becomes the bad guy. There's a twist. He's now the bad guy because he doesn't want the cat to leave. He wants the cat to stay.
Because he, like, maybe he experiences, like, the cat's, like, the way the cat helps him win gambling.
Yeah,
and
he's
helps
I
him
could
fly.
Use this. Yes,
and he starts trying to use it.
So you think the bad guy is the bad guy, but he's not. He's
Olympus
also
is trying to help him. Olympus is this conspiracy theorist, so Frank the whole time is like, this guy just wants to take you to a lab and do experiments on you.
That's crazy.
And then Olympus is like, it's like, no, like, I believe all aliens should be set free. Like, he's been believing in the alien, like, he's the one who watches, like, History Channel and like, pyramids are the aliens and all that.
This story arc has never been done before. I mean, there was Solo, Toy Story 3, Frozen. I'll stop. But, like, wouldn't that be, or what if Olympus was also a bad guy, and there's two bad guys, but you think one bad guy...
Then who's the good guy? The cat?
Yeah. The cat is never the bad guy.
So we have to, instead of the focus being on the human characters, the focus has to be more where he's the central protagonist. The cat, Jake, is like the one trying to navigate this world and understand it, and he's being taken advantage of at every given moment. So he has to escape.
What if crazy scientist man meets Cat? Cat is like, help me, I want to go home. And he says, okay, Cat. But he helps him fix the spaceship and then discovers the cat is actually evil from outer space. And he wants to, take your pick, destroy the planet or enslave humanity. Either
No,
one,
the cat has to
honestly.
be the good guy.
Why?
Because
But what a twist, you know? You say the cat has to be the
everyone's
good
a bad guy.
There is no good guy. The movie ends with the cat blowing up the earth, and it's just like the shot from Star Wars with like the little mini explosion in space, and that's it. It just says the end, and the cat just flies away.
So I just had another thought to fix the movie we just watched, at least a little bit. So we have this boring chase scene at the end. Half the movie was dedicated to fixing the UFO, like the cat's UFO.
For no reason.
Why couldn't they have just gotten in his spaceship and flown in his, like the chase scene at the end should have been the helicopter versus the spaceship. And then maybe
at that point the spaceship they already just sent up into the atmosphere.
but they could have like rewrite that part. Like just have him be like,
that's fair.
Like, oh, we got to get over there. It's like, well, I can either rendezvous with my alien race, or we can take my spaceship and save Liz.
Yeah, he's like, by the way,
and then
I have
they
a spaceship.
use alien tech, and then maybe the helicopter could be equipped with like some kind of weaponry, and then like they have like an actual battle scene in the sky, so it's interesting.
He has to fly in a groove in the earth and fire his plasma bolts into a
torpedoes.
tiny little hole that will shoot up a geyser that will knock the helicopter off course. He wins.
I used to bullseye womp rats back in my T16.
No, my
and
God.
then eat them because I'm a cat.
Because I'm a cat. No, he's not just a cat. He is Space Cat.
Space cat. All right, Josh. Thank you so much for helping me watch this movie. I think I only fell asleep once, so that's pretty good.
That's a wreck. I mean, Space Cat. That's it.
Space cat.
That's...
Thank you all for listening. Maybe I'll actually watch a good movie on this show next time. Nah, probably not. It'll be another bad one.
Space Cat.
Space Cat 2.
Space Cat 2. 2 cat, 2 space.
Space Cat 3 Tokyo Drift.
And
Space.
Then just cat.
Cat. And then the next one. Cat 8. Cat 7. Space 8.
Oh, I gotta go.
Frank and Jake.
Oh, no.
The Cat from Outer Space presents Frank and Jake.
It's the Cat from Outer Space Extended Universe.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to get on my spaceship now and go live on a planet of cats instead of...
Don't forget your mayonnaise.
All right, thanks. Throw them up to me. Got it.